There are organizations out there that want to see the temple rebuilt. Now, is this going to happen? Well, absolutely. Bible prophecy says that there is going to be a temple. Jesus Christ of Nazareth said in Matthew, the 24th chapter, Matthew 24, talking about the Great Tribulation. And it says, therefore, verse 15 of Matthew 24, when you therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet stand in the holy place. The holy place is the temple of God. There is no temple of God right now. The holy place needs to be rebuilt, and it's going to be rebuilt. And in Daniel the 11th chapter, verse 45, here we see the King of the North, which we have identified as the President of the United States. And we have plenty of videos on our YouTube channel if you want to take a look at that. And we prove to you that the King of the North is the President of the United States. And it says in Daniel the 11th chapter, verse 45, and he, that's the King of the North, the President of the United States, shall plant the tabernacles of his palace, that's military bases, embassies, between the seas, that's the Negev desert, and the United States planted a military base in the Negev desert in 2017 due to the threat of Iran. And, of course, the context of this verse is found in verse 44, where it says, tidings out of the east and out of the north shall trouble him. And those two Hebrew words, east and north, mean Old Persia and Media, which is where Iran resides today. So because of Iran, he plants the tabernacles of his palace, military bases, military occupation between the seas, that's the Negev desert, and in the glorious holy mountain. Now, the United States planted an embassy in Jerusalem, but it specifically says here the glorious holy mountain. They're going to occupy militarily. Why the glorious holy mountain? Well, obviously, it's because there is a temple there. And these peace agreements, as the chief rabbi said, is leading towards a time where the Jews can actually build a temple in Jerusalem without any Arab opposition for the first time ever. And of course, when that temple is built, obviously the Palestinians are not going to like it. The Iranians are not going to like it. The groups in Lebanon are not going to like it. And we see in other prophecies of the Bible that because of these groups, they're going to threaten to destroy Israel because of that temple. And so the King of the North, the President of the United States and NATO move in to occupy it militarily to save Israel. So obviously these peace agreements we are heading towards a time with these peace agreements, a time where the Jews can actually build that temple in Jerusalem. And Jesus Christ says that there's going to be a temple. The abomination of desolation is going to be set up in Matthew, the 24th chapter. Again, verse 15, when you see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet stand in the holy place. And then it talks about people in Judea fleeing into the mountains. And then it says, for then shall be great tribulation, verse 21, for then shall be great tribulation such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever indeed shall be. So then comes the great tribulation, when that temple is set up, and we see the abomination set up in the temple of God. Now that happens at the time when the beast power rises. But before that, it says he, the King of the North, the President of the United States and NATO, it says he shall come to his end and none shall help him. So when we see the NATO forces occupying Israel to save Israel, then NATO will break apart. And I showed you in other prophecies that China is going to give NATO that deadly blow, and the whole thing is going to unravel because China is going to side with Iran, because Iran is part of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, or what they call the NATO of the East. So NATO is going to receive that deadly blow, and it says he shall come to his end and none shall help him. The end of NATO, the end of the potter's clay phase, but then comes the rise of the beast power. That church-state government, the 10-nation combine, the woman that rides the beast, and the Pope is going to go into the temple of God, showing himself that he is God in 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter. And when we see that abomination, then comes the great tribulation. So we are living in extraordinary times, ladies and gentlemen. We are seeing prophecy being fulfilled right now in our day today.